Dave O. Russell gets the Clooney kiss of death. Clooney says indie films are a thing of the past. And George Clooney has some words for Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call. Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimble to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Howdy, classmates. Welcome to Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Rootin' Tootin' Tyler.
I'm Joseph.
And I'm what's
Slippery Pete.
I'm
Pistol Pete.
Whiskey Pete.
We have a great show for you.
Outrageous Tyler. Boy, you sure are outrageous.
Oh, this long
Tyler,
drop. You're outrageous.
Thank you. We have a great show for you today. Welcome everyone on YouTube, live and otherwise, and of course the OG classmates listening in the podcast land, wherever you're listening to your podcast.
Tyler, are you excited to be posting again?
It's been too long.
Clearly.
Oh, is that why with all the energy? That's why
Right.
you're very excited.
It's been too long.
Pent up.
It's
He's
been
been edged to death.
Yeah. I mean, like I've been on the edge for. It's been like almost 5 months.
This is perverted. This is creepy.
Been edging the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I haven't came in like 5 months.
This
so.
is and this episode is one glorious explosion for Tyler.
Right. Yeah. But it's great to be back in the studio, and it's great to be hosting again for
The third time.
Yeah.
Ever.
So us in Sacramento, any of our listeners in Sacramento, we are experiencing false fall because it feels like fall, but it's not. It's gonna get hot again.
Well, it feels like Sacramento fall. It's still like 85 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay.
Tyler showed up in a jean jacket today.
Well, I mean, we'll get into that when we get into the movie
A jean
review.
jacket, 85 degrees.
Yeah, that's
Long pants.
that's the dedication I have to the show.
And we're doing this on a Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
For like on the rare occasion that we do, but we always do it on Saturdays.
Right.
And
yeah.
so like I had a free Saturday.
What'd you do with it?
I was about to ask you guys. I mean, I know what you did.
Yeah, I was at
we all know. Everybody here knows.
Baseball game.
Yeah, he went to
I was at the baseball game.
Yeah, Pete went to a ball game. What did you do, Joseph?
So I went out to like a swimming hole up in like Auburn, Colfax area.
Was it
Hill?
Yankee Gyms?
I don't know what it was called.
Forest Hill?
No,
No,
I have no idea what the name of it is.
Okay. You sure it wasn't Yankee Gyms?
It could have been. It might have been, but it was a true swimming hole. Like it was a big, like tiny lake that you could jump into. There were big rocks everywhere.
Oh, cool.
It was cool.
Is that like the TikTok sort of like thing, like where people like find these like
That's real
tranquil...
life, Tyler. It's called real life. Go
Can I finish?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Finish the bit.
What bit?
this like
There's no
TikTok?
bit. No, it's like there's like one TikToker will film like a tranquil swimming hole, like you just described, Joseph.
Yeah.
And then everyone will just flock to that.
Oh, like
swimming
there's
hole.
no secrets anymore.
Yeah.
Because of social media.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of people there.
Yeah.
The water, I mean, it wasn't the best day to go because it was only 85 degrees. The water was freezing.
Yeah.
Really
yeah,
cold.
I mean, that's snow melt there.
Freezing. It would have been nice if it was 110 degrees outside.
Yeah.
But,
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
but
I got burnt just in the 75 degrees in the Bay Area in Oakland.
You
yeah.
got burnt?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. But like I was there, it was like in the middle of the day, you know, normal time we would be recording and I'm here experiencing what it's like on Saturday afternoons. And I totally forgot that it was like I got home, had showered, was like just chilling at home, eating leftover pizza, and it was like 9:30.
Oh my God,
And
that
then
sounds like heaven.
And then I was like, oh, fuck, I got to do the podcast tomorrow. Happy to be here, but just that small realization, I was like,
I got homework tomorrow.
shit, because I was like in my brain, I was like, I got a free day tomorrow. I got nothing to do. And then I realized,
yeah.
Well, I have a wedding to go to after this.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
do you really?
Yeah.
You have to go to
I have a jam-packed weekend.
Oh.
Woke up, I was out of my house by 9 a.m., went to the ball game in the Bay Area. Didn't get home until 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we tailgated for like 5 hours. And then I woke up this morning.
That's a long time to tailgate. 5 hours?
Yeah, it's more
At
important
a
than the game.
baseball game? Like, I could understand if it was pro football, but like baseball game, that's.
What's the differentiation? What's the distinction? Why is one better to tailgate than the other?
I'm not saying that one is better than the other. It's just like you
I
don't
could
really
understand
hear about
if it was racquetball, but baseball.
As a staunch not baseball fan that I am, I would probably enjoy that part of it more than that game.
Oh yeah, you don't like baseball.
No, I don't.
It was the last Battle of the Bay, and for those not in Northern California, the A's, Oakland Athletics play the San Francisco Giants once or twice a year, depending on the year. Mostly, I think it's just once, and they call it the Battle of the Bay. And it's
Battle of the Bay.
Yeah, interdivision. They usually don't play each other.
Yeah.
And we've gone as a family for like 28 years, and this is the last year the A's are going to be at the Coliseum, most likely. So,
Like, before they come up here for a little bit.
yeah, I said, next year we can come to my house, tailgate in my front yard, and we'll take a party bus out there together. It's only
it's
20 minutes.
If the Athletics came to Sacramento as a professional baseball team, like I would love that. I would love that.
I would hate that.
Why?
Traffic.
It's around the edge of town.
There's traffic everywhere, Joseph. It's fine.
And it would be worse. It would be worse. It's already bad that like I have to drive through the city when the Kings are playing during the Kings season.
Well, they put that arena right in the middle of the fucking town.
I know. I don't understand that either.
Like they're talking about building the new Coliseum for the A's in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
They're gonna like demolish the Tropicana and build it there. It's like
Not the
put
Tropicana.
Put it on the edge of town or something. Don't put it at the crossroads of like where the Luxor is.
I know, it
It's
doesn't-
such a bad idea.
I think they're
Yeah.
thinking about the foot traffic. What I did with my Saturday is I not a whole lot.
Practice the intro for this episode.
I know. You know, I got it so right just before we started
In your-
recording.
yeah.
As soon as the cameras,
and then as
you saw
soon
that
as we
blue
start
light blinking.
then as soon as we started rolling, I was just like brain snap.
Just,
Howdy,
y'all.
Well, that one was planned.
Oh, okay.
I'm
gonna say howdy.
That was actually requested by a fan. So
Oh, okay.
I had to fulfill that request.
What's her name?
Don't worry about it. How about that?
I think I know.
Does
her
she
name
make you
is.
wear a cowboy hat?
In some ways.
And she says meow. Are we talking about movies or what's
There's
happening?
my
What's
little
happening here?
cat woman.
Well, no, yeah, we are going to talk about movies, but more specifically, we're going to talk about movie news.
A tier trans.
Find
S
some
tier.
charity, you lad. Now's the time for gab and chatter.
What does the
movie-
S and S tier mean?
Super.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it really? Okay, so, well, movie news, movie discussions,
Yes.
what have you. Joseph, what do you have for
Oh,
us
me
today?
first. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm not used to.
I know it's been a weird, it's been a weird time.
I know. It's been a long time.
So I have a news story, a story time news story.
Okay.
About director David O. Russell, who's directed. Did he do American Hustle? He did that movie.
Yep. And he did The Fighter, I believe, and he did
Most recently, Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. He did I Heart Huckabees.
Yes.
Silver Linings Playbook.
So he directed a movie called in 1999. He directed a movie called Three Kings, starring one George Clooney
in Cube.
and Ice Cube, the Ice Cube, and Mark Wahlberg.
I don't know.
I don't know. I've never seen it. And apparently there was some turmoil between George Clooney and David O. Russell on the making of that movie.
Really?
David O. Russell apparently was not easy to work with, and in one incident involving George Clooney, David O. Russell was yelling or berating some extras, and George Clooney didn't appreciate that, didn't like that, and so
He's a man of the people.
so they got into an altercation, a physical,
Really?
A physical.
an infamous fight.
Wow, cool.
And this news story coming from IndieWire, headline is, "I don't want to work with a miserable fuck like David O. Russell ever again," says George Clooney.
This was recent that he said that? Or was it like just...
Let me get through the article because it gets kind of muddy a little bit. So the older you get, is a quote, "The older you get, time allotment is very different. 5 months out of your life is a lot," Clooney said on how he selects projects now. And so it's not just like, oh, I'm going to do a really good film like Three Kings and I'm going to have a miserable fuck like David O. Russell making my life hell, making every person in the crew's life hell. It's not worth it. Not at this point in my life. It just to have all that just to have a good product is not worth it. Not worth the conflict.
Sure.
And in 2012, Clooney tried to bury the hatchet with David O. Russell. Right. I saw David a few weeks ago at a party, and I felt compelled to go over and go, so are we done? And he goes, please. And I said, okay. Like, please, we can be done.
Yeah, please.
Clooney said,
Please.
Clooney said at that time, we made a really, really great film and had a really, really tough time together, but it's a case of us both getting older. I really do appreciate the work he continues to do, and I think he appreciates what I'm trying to do. Yet, his experience with Russell is far from the first issue with the director that has been made public. David O. Russell apparently has verbally abused Lily Tomlin on the set of I Heart Huckabees in a viral video.
I've seen that before.
And also has been a controversial figure given his unorthodox directing style. While promoting Russell's Amsterdam, Margot Robbie revealed that Russell refused to call cut and extended the crew's work hours during production. So I guess
It's like an asshole.
so it sounds like David Russell is a little hard to work with.
Yeah.
Kind of a, I don't know about drama queen's the right word, but
I mean,
I think it's more than that.
I think for a star to actually like come out and say to go into the defense for like extras being yelled at, verbally abused, it had to have been really bad.
Well, I have a timeline from Vulture that did put together of all the controversy surrounding David O. Russell. I'm gonna read a couple select inserts. So the first one is from the year 2000 when Clooney first talked about how David O. Russell was treating people on set, and he says he screamed at people all day from day one on the set of Three Kings. He publicly embarrassed camera car drivers and reduced a script supervisor to tears on a regular basis.
Jeez.
He elaborates on that. And then in 2003, David O. Russell physically attacks Christopher Nolan at a Hollywood party. The director reportedly wanted Jude Law to star in I Heart Huckabees, but heard that Law decided to take a role in one of Nolan's movies instead. Times reports that the party guests watched on as Russell put Nolan in a headlock and wrapped his arm around the fellow director's neck.
what the fuck?
He allegedly demanded that Nolan give up on his star to show artistic solidarity. Jude Law remained in the Heart Huckabees cast. What the fuck? 2003, that's the Lily Tomlin video was leaked on the set of I Heart Huckabees. I've watched it. It's pretty bad.
He
It's
is
bad.
being very mean.
Yes. And it's like him and her and Dustin Hoffman. Lily Tomlin and Dustin Hoffman are doing a scene together, and
he's
she
just
breaks
laying
down and it's just like cussing him out about how much of a cunt he's being to everybody.
Oh my God.
2011, speaking at South by Southwest, Paul Rubens alleges that Russell screamed at him at the top of his lungs on the first day working on Nailed, the Jake Gyllenhaal-led movie shot in 2008, and was later released under the title Accidental Love in 2005. Rubens claimed that he doesn't know what caused the director to start cursing and screaming at him on the first take. I didn't think it was reality-based, he said with a laugh. And it goes on. Just an incident in 2012, incident in 2014, incident in 2015, 2016, 2020, 21, 2022, and the list goes on.
So David O. Russell seems like
Got a track record.
Yeah.
I mean,
he admitted
what's
to
it-
touching his niece's breasts because she was being provocative and seductive.
Wait a minute. What?
Okay.
Is that a punishment? Like, what?
Wow, I don't know. I've heard nothing but terrible things about him, which is
But I mean, I guess he's making studios money, so he's getting work. So I don't know. I don't understand show business.
Hey, you guys want to
Like,
watch Amsterdam after this?
Okay.
I don't know if I want to watch it in general.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. So George Clooney just is confirmed a man of the people.
Yeah,
Like
that's right.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean, like if it was
Fights
if
for the little man.
He got arrested for participating in like a protest in some other country, and his wife is in politics, I think.
Yeah, I love her name.
Yeah.
Amal Alamalim.
Yeah.
Amal Aluminum.
So he's
Close.
he's definitely like in that world of
Yeah.
woke,
George Clooney is no longer a movie star because of woke.
and he doesn't do that much work recently. Like
Doesn't he have a tequila?
Oh, that actually parlays right into my news story.
you have a
I have
Clooney focused?
I also have a Clooney centric I mean, you may not have been able to tell from that intro, but
Yeah, we're all Clooney
we're all
up in here.
Clooneyed up today. So yeah,
We should get him on the show.
Yeah, you want
Clooney?
me? You want me to go into mine,
Yeah,
Tyler?
Please.
captain of the show.
I said please.
Okay, great, wonderful. There we go. I set you up for the lob.
Please, Pete. What do you have for us today? That's George Clooney related.
Okay, so there was recently an interview with George Clooney, and he was talking about a previous instance with Quentin Tarantino. And there was an interview with GQ to mark the upcoming Apple TV movie Wolves. Clooney revealed that he was irritated with Tarantino, the former co-star and director of Pulp Fiction. So they starred in From Dusk Till Dawn together. They played brothers.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah,
And which I always thought was funny.
Yeah.
And
look nothing alike.
And there was an interview that Tarantino did with Deadline last year where they were in some line of questioning. They asked about movie stars, and they're like, what kind of there's a lot of movie stars out right now, or the movie stars are dying. And someone asked him, what about Clooney? And he said, well, it's been a long while since I think George Clooney's drawn anybody to an audience. When was the last time he had a hit in this millennium? And he does not consider him a movie star.
Oh my god.
So Clooney was asked by GQ if he felt competitive with Brad Pitt about the fact that Pitt had appeared in Tarantino's movies recently, including Inglourious Bastards and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And Clooney replied, well, Quentin said some shit about me recently, so I'm a little irritated by him. He did some interview where he was naming movie stars, and he was talking about you and someone else. He was sitting next to Brad Pitt. And this guy goes, well, what about George? And he says, well, he's not a movie star. And then he literally said something like, name a movie from this millennium, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, since this millennium, that's kind of my whole fucking career. He added, so now I'm like, right, dude, fuck off. I don't mind giving him shit since he gave me shit. So I decided to read from George Clooney's career from this millennium.
Oh, yeah. His filmography?
His filmography.
Okay.
Yeah, so we start with, I'm only going to read the big ones. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? Mm-hmm. That's a banger.
Yeah.
The Perfect Storm. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Spy Kids.
That's right.
He was in that?
God, yeah. With Antonio Banderas.
Everybody
too.
was in Spy Kids, apparently. Ocean's 11.
Yep.
Solaris. Oops.
No, I think that was right.
Okay.
Those are-
Intolerable Cruelty, Ocean's 12, Good Night and Good Luck, not a hit but still a known movie, Syriana, Ocean's 13, Michael Clayton, Leatherheads, Burn After Reading, Up in the Air, The Men Who Stare at Goats, Fantastic Mr. Fox, The Ides of March, The Descendants, Gravity, The Monuments Men, Tomorrowland, Hail Caesar, The Midnight Sky, Ticket to Paradise, The Flash, he was Bruce Wayne, and he was recently a voice in If.
Yeah.
So,
No One Fine Day.
I don't know what that is.
It's like the other You've Got Mail.
Really? One Fine Day?
It's like Michelle Pfeiffer and George Clooney. Rom-com from the 90s.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
I was reading the 2000s and up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he was talking about this
Millennium.
millennium.
No Batman.
No Three Kings, because that was 99,
Yeah.
dude.
No, he's right.
But
Millennium.
yeah. So,
Oh, he's got something else coming out. Wolves.
yeah, that's what he's promoting for this.
Yeah.
For Apple TV.
Yeah. So, and then I saw this clip too, which I thought was funny. And this is Clooney talking about Tarantino.
I remember we were doing an MTV interview, and they were like, why did you think about George? And Quentin was like, well, man, it was like, I was watching ER, man, and I look over and I'm thinking, fuck, man, like that guy and I could be like brothers, And I'm sitting there like going, what?
George was like on the cover of Us magazine or something. And Robert's like, hey, we should cast this guy. He looks like Quentin. All right, and I just had it in my mind.
That's
Like identical twins.
That's amazing.
looking in a mirror.
His
They're separated at birth.
George Clooney doing the Quentin Tarantino accent is so spot on. Mm-hmm. It's so spot on. Like it is so
this
good.
guy's fucking guy. He looks a lot like me. We could be fucking brothers, man.
And like I can tell like that there is like some like frustrated attitude towards Quentin Tarantino when he says that, because he's like
I think
because he has such a annoying voice.
Well, Clooney sounds like just a regular dude, as we said, man of the people, and Tarantino seems like Like a lot. Like he'd be a lot to hang out with. He'd be cool. I'd like to pick his brain. I think he'd be a very interesting person to have like a lunch or a beer with or something. But I feel like he'd be a lot.
No, I think I would be annoyed by him like
Small
like,
doses.
First sentence, much like Joseph has described me in our friendship.
No.
Yeah, first sentence.
First sentence, I'm like, no, I'm out.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
So
yeah, that's all my that's the story. I got.
So Clooney isn't a fan of Tarantino.
David O. Russell or
No, no,
Tarantino.
Well, here's the thing, okay? So when I read the story in passing, and then you guys both sent in your George Clooney stories, and and you said, well, Pete, now you got to find a George Clooney story as a joke, as a lark, you know. And I said, well,
we're peeling the layers back.
I'm calling your bluff. Here's my George Clooney story. But when I went back in my memory bank to try to find it, actually, I Googled it to try to find it. Mm-hmm. All of the headlines I saw were the clickbaitiest bullshit. Because if you listen to the way he says, he's like, I don't mind giving him some shit because he gave me some shit. That's just like something you would say to one of your guy friends. When your guy friends is talking light shit about you, it's not even like he's saying, oh, this Clooney guy's a real dickhead. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope his wife leaves him. It's like he's just like, he's like, I mean, is he a star? He hasn't had a hit in like the last 15 years or whatever. You know, so I could see how he would just be frustrated about that, but it'd be like, yeah, okay, well, fuck him then.
You know, it's interesting that you brought up Inglourious Bastards and George Clooney not being in there, because I could totally see him being Brad Pitt's character. I could see that.
That'd be interesting. I think that
I feel like it'd be like almost like a Mike Myers type of role, where it's like that small.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like he would if they were to cast him in it.
You think he'd be a Nazi?
No. I think he'd probably do the Fassbender role and not do it as well, because no one can do Fassbender like Fassbender can do Fassbender.
Did you know that Adam Sandler was supposed to be the Bear Jew?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he was.
He was supposed to be the Bear Jew. Like Quentin Tarantino actually wrote that role for Adam Sandler, but Adam Sandler had a project. I can't even remember what he was working on, but he was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I would love to do it, but I can't do it.
You know what would be even better than Sandler as a Bear Jew is Jeff Garlin. Hey, you guys want to die for country over here. Just comes out.
Hella raspy voice.
Yeah, eating a sandwich. Comes out of that tunnel. Instead of hitting the bat, he's just munching on a sandwich. Right. Yeah. All right. I love Jeff Garlin. He's so funny.
You know, according to Adam Sandler, this is back to Adam Sandler, but the reason why he wears the big clothes is because back when he was younger, like SNL days, is that he was jacked. Like he was a ripped dude.
I think I heard about that, yeah.
And then he stuck with the big clothes because now...
Was he self-conscious about it?
And no, he was like, because like if I wear the big clothes and then there's like this big reveal when I'm at the beach or something, and then now he's like, now I wear big clothes because now it should stay hidden.
Now because I'm just an old guy. Yeah. And I don't have
it's just comfortable. I mean, that dude is loaded.
Well, he was in pretty good shape because he's in Airheads. He's naked. He's the pool boy, and he's banging the girl.
Yeah,
and he comes out with this little beanie over his junk.
That's right.
And he's like, "Oh, I don't want to get you in trouble or anything." And he's like, he's not ripped, but he's in very good shape.
Yeah. Better shape than I am.
That's true. All right. Well, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm agreeing with you.
Well, speaking of George Clooney, this comes from Variety.com.
Oh, son of a bitch.
So the title of this news article is George Clooney says Hollywood is getting eaten up by big Walmarts and Amazons around the world when asked about Paramount being sold. So Paramount is being sold by this company that I've never heard of before. It's called Skydance. Well, it hasn't been sold. It hasn't been sold yet, but it's a pending sale. It's worth like about $8 billion. And George Clooney has a very close relationship with the Paramount Studios. He says that Paramount's one of the great original studios, but some of it. But some of it you just have to say no to. Like when this article is wonky.
Blame the article.
No, it is.
I swear to God.
It was so he was being interviewed, and in the context of about being Paramount being sold came up. He said, but some of it you just have to say no say. You just have no say in. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't read that. I forgot my glasses today, so my vision.
Why do you not live your life with glasses? We were talking about this earlier. Why do you set yourself up with hurdles that make your day worse, like on purpose?
So Skydance is a production company, and the movies they've produced: Annihilation, Life, Geostorm, the Jack Reacher movies, some of the Mission Impossible movies, Star Trek Beyond, World War Z, just to name a few. But
well, he goes on to saying because the oh shit! Come on, this freaking. I knew I should have.
All of these writers are illiterate. They don't know how to write.
No. It's just it's these damn ads. Damn ads. But some of it you just have no say in because the business, it's all getting eaten up. It's like everything. It's all getting eaten up by big Walmarts and Amazons around the world. Our version of mom and pop shops in a small town is Paramount. Okay, well, so I kind of disagree with George Clooney on this point because Paramount is like a multi-billion-dollar company. It's not. It's far away from a mom and pop shop. Let's be real here, Clooney. Like that's not a mom and pop shop. I get his sentiment though because he wants old like Hollywood back. Because when you think about like Amazon and Netflix, I mean, shoot. Any of the other major streaming services that are churning out these movies that arguably like are a hit and miss.
I think what he's saying though is like if you have say you have like a local restaurant,
right,
that is very good, and they make all their stuff from scratch. It's fresh food. It's not frozen. It's not chain. It's not some bullshit you can just roll up on at any, in the same parking lot as any Chipotle or Chick-fil-A or whatever.
Right.
It's like a local institution.
We make the pasta in house.
Exactly, something like that.
Where'd you get the flour?
That's yeah, fuck you. That's not even. It's not homemade.
That's called a callback.
Did you mill that flour, you bitch?
Where'd you get the mill?
Poser.
And to make the mill, you pull the stone out of the ground.
I breeded this cow.
But Paramount is that, and it's being bulldozed by Amazon and Netflix, which are making Red Notice and The Gray Man, that sort of stuff versus iconic Hollywood IPs. That's what Clooney's saying. Whether or not we, you agree with it or I agree with it, it's a whole nother conversation.
So that's what I was under the impression that he was getting at is, I think he was thinking of. I mean, really, like going back to Tarantino, From Dusk Till Dawn. That's a super original movie. A lot of people know what that movie is, but I mean, I can't even tell you like what a good Amazon movie is right now.
You Were Never Really There.
Yeah, but
a good Amazon original movie.
That's Amazon original.
But the thing is, though, like you're not gonna.
Amazon
you're
original
not,
movies.
Oh, Jesus Christ! All I'm saying is that when you think of Paramount, like you can think of like original IPs, but with Amazon, because they're making so much stuff that you're not gonna think of Amazon as this like industry. Well, I mean, they are industry power player, but you're not going to think of like MGM. Like MGM is like an iconic with like the lion,
which is owned by Amazon now.
Paramount. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Shit. But yeah, like you think of MGM, like or Paramount with like the the Peak. What else? What Miramax, Pixar with the little lamp thing.
Are we talking about like their little stings?
He's thinking. Yeah, he's just naming the first thing he can think of when it comes to those.
Yeah,
those
Scott Free.
So I'm thinking
the Bird, Bad Robot, the robot on screen.
Okay, well, I mean,
we're talking about little logos.
I'm just saying. I'm not thinking.
Tyler's on a tangent.
No, I'm just saying. Like he's not thinking about. Like I'm not thinking about Amazon. Like when I watch an Amazon original movie, like that's an Amazon movie. That's gonna be good. Or,
to be fair, I don't think about that when I see a Sony movie.
You're saying like you don't attribute the quality of a movie because it's from Amazon.
Correct. And I think that's what George Clooney is alluding to as well. is that he.
Do you do that with any other
Yeah, I don't.
studio?
I mean, I
Some-
don't.
some people do.
I mean, I
definitely
don't. I wouldn't say I do as well, but at the same time,
I don't know. Whenever I
think-
see the Syncope logo, which is Nolan's, I see that little. At least I used to.
so
See that thing, I'm like, that's gonna be interesting. Or I mean, A24
Yeah,
at one
A24,
point.
that's exactly
neon now.
It's at least gonna be
Neon
interesting.
Neon and A24 was exactly what I was thinking about, like the
Also,
modern
Fox Searchlight Pictures,
Legendary.
Yeah. So I think
Janice Films.
So I think George, I mean, George Clooney, he doesn't have to work a day in his life anymore. Like, what is the man? He's like 64 or something like that. Like, he doesn't need.
He's hanging out on Lake Como right now.
So now so what I think about all this George Clooney news coming out, like with him,
All of, it's just a Clooney, just like all of this news is coming
Like
out.
he's-
Who's he paying? Who's he paying?
I don't think he's paying
His
anyone. I think
publicist is on.
It started with Tarantino calling him not a movie star, so now he's trying to get back into the
He's like,
zeitgeist.
you know what, Quentin? I'm gonna show you. I'm a movie star.
I'll show you.
I'm gonna show you.
I mean, he was a goddamn sex symbol.
Hey, Tyler, good guess. 63.
Oh, all
What?
right.
Oh, his age.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
good.
He's a silver fox.
Yeah, he's been a silver fox for a long time.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that I agree with him. I mean, I don't agree with like the old practices of Hollywood that was happening back then, but I agree that the conglomeration. I'm not going to even try to say that word.
Love it.
But the
Know thyself.
but the whole like mass of these multi-billion, almost trillion-dollar companies going out and putting out stuff. Some are good, most of it bad. But the attitude of that's it.
Say what you need to say.
Nope, that's it.
Just get to it.
Nope, that's it. I thought we were discussing something, but I guess not.
No, you're just repeating yourself over and over again.
I guess the lighthouse horn, the fog horn. Yeah, there we go.
Foghorn rings for everyone.
You know, I've been listening to our old episodes. I've been going through. And
For any new classmates, please don't listen to those.
anything past episode 17. And I just been listening to the Gavin Chatters. And then when that ends, I just skip to the next one. And we were so like quiet.
Yeah.
Like we were very, very just kind of calm. Like we like if you listen to our show now and then compare it to what 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like we're very like
The energy is
reserved.
high.
and
Yeah.
Tyler, I don't know what was going on in some of the episodes with you, but the transitions, because we had no segment music.
Yeah.
And you were hosting. It'd be like Pete. So what's just dream pick?
And I
Thank
would,
you for that great impression. Of
we
me.
had no idea what we were doing back then.
No. we didn't.
Yeah, but we were all very just very
I remember for the first
calm.
at some point I remember thinking we need to like hype ourselves up before the camera, before the mic
Hit the
rolls or whatever,
record.
before mics go hot.
Yeah.
Because we were, it was like a lot of, oh my God, how much,
Well, what do you have?
much,
What do you have going
we're
on
all
today?
going to the World's Fair this week.
Or it's like,
It was pretty good.
or a lot of some of Tyler's news stories would be like, yeah, I don't really have a news story, but this thing happened. And it was like kind of insignificant. And then another interesting thing about listening to old episodes is like our news stories
And come to fruition.
either have come to fruition or completely forgot about. Like
Yeah.
the Pee-wee, Benny Safdie, the Safdie brothers movie.
Oh yeah.
Obviously never happened. And then when
Totally forgot
we
about that.
first read the article about the Daniels doing Everything Everywhere.
Yep.
Like that title was released and that's all it was. And Michelle Yeoh was involved.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy to see where it has the news stories that came true, the movies that have come out that we talked about years ago, like the Deadpool
You
3.
heard it
Like,
here
you reported on Deadpool 3 being worked on 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it just came out.
I still haven't seen it yet, too.
Me neither.
No, man.
I do want to see it though. I've seen clips of it. It looks fun. It looks like a fun time. I'm really glad that Hugh Jackman went back on not doing Wolverine because he said, I'm not going to do Wolverine again. That's done. It's over after Logan. And then he went back to do it again. It's like, yeah, it's the obvious choice. Like, he has to be the Wolverine. And actually, I did read an article. I was going to bring it up on the show, but we were all Clooney'd up. So there was an opinion piece on why Hugh Jackman should be Wolverine because he's aging. So like, I mean, we got old Logan in the Logan movie, which is fantastic. Probably one of the best superhero movies I've ever seen. But him like aging like makes sense for him to like keep reprising his role because they're just gonna put him in like older roles of Wolverine. And then eventually there's going to be, I think the plan is, and this is just a theory, I think the plan is that they're going to have like a final Wolverine movie, like where he is like
Logan was supposed to be it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was kind of sad that he came back.
Why?
Because Logan. I mean, that was the end. That was the period of his storyline.
I know. And you know
It was
what?
the punctuation at the end of that sentence.
In some ways,
they turned it into an ellipses.
Yeah. In some ways, I do agree with you on that. Like, I thought that was a great punctuation to the Wolverine Hugh Jackman character. However, I don't know. Like, after reading that opinion piece, like, I was thinking, well, you know what? It would kind of be cool to actually see an elderly Jackman.
And an opinion I want to know about of yours, Tyler, that I want to know if it still is your same opinion.
Okay.
I don't remember what we were talking about in this old episode, but you were like, I don't like Henry Cavill.
Oh, yeah. Tyler didn't like Henry Cavill for a long time.
Still don't. No, I don't.
He's jealous.
Jealous of what?
Butt chin.
No, definitely not. No, I just think he's just a very wooden actor and just no charisma.
Have you seen Stardust?
I have not.
Okay, well.
I mean, like, come on, you could have answered that question.
Maybe you should. Why? What's wrong with that? I know, it's true.
Have you seen a movie?
Yeah.
No.
There's no.
No, I don't like movies. Well, enough about George Clooney and Henry Cavill and Hugh Jackman. Let's get into some streaming picks.
Movies.
Wanna watch a movie?
Yes, I do.
Disney Plus, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime.
I like Netflix.
You found the pick.
Streaming picks, movies that we watched this past week. Joseph, what do you have for us today?
I have me again.
You're first this time.
It's so weird. I have two movies that one I watched in theaters, and one is in theaters, but I watched at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Want to do the theater only one next so I can jump on?
I'll do it last.
Yeah, do a second.
Yeah. I watched some streaming picks that are streaming, and I'll go from worst to best, but the worst is not that bad. It's actually pretty good.
Cool.
So no stinkers this week.
Cool.
The first streaming pick I have is I caught up with Five Nights at Freddy's. After watching Wally's Wonderland, which was terrible.
Yes. Not good.
Watching this better version of that kind of story was so much better, so much more enjoyable. I mean, production quality wise, story wise, it was fun. It was very fun. And albeit like predictable, still had a fun time, and it was a good, like, I mean, I've never really played the game, so I don't know how faithful to the game it is, but to me it seemed like
it's a game.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's is a.
You never heard of Five Nights at Freddy's?
It's a jump scare game.
I've heard of the movie, but I didn't know it was based off of a game.
It's been around for a long time, and apparently kids are really into it, and that's why it did so well at the box office, because they were
really,
kids were organizing like friends from out of town to come in and go 20 at a time to go see this damn movie.
Yeah. Wow. I know, that surprised me. They've never heard of it. It's been around for like, I don't know, 10 years.
If I never met Brianna, I wouldn't know about it, because she's the one who mentioned it, and we have it on.
It's just so like in the meme zeitgeist that I feel like you would have come across
Freddy
it.
Fazbear.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There's like 5 games or something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's all. I mean,
It's such a rudimentary game.
Yeah,
too.
it's just like you're just a security guard for this Chuck E. Cheese type place.
Wait, is it a video game or like a card game?
It's a video game.
Yeah,
It's a
computer
video game.
and or video game, and you're like it's POV, but you can't move around. You can like
You're just watching security cameras.
you can move the camera position, kind of like an old school puzzle game, like Myst or something like that, or Quake or Ribbon. I mean,
Okay.
and you can like move, and you're watching security cameras. You're a night guard at a Chuck E. Cheese type place, and the
Called Freddy's.
Freddy's, and it's like
You have to survive 5 nights, although because the animatronics come alive at night.
and that you watching the cameras and they're moving around in the building, and you're from like the security outpost, but of course the cameras start going haywire and you lose power and you can only close the door so many times and the fucking giant animatronics coming at you.
Yeah. It's almost like if you
It's kind of like a weird labor law where you have to work 5 nights in a row.
It's like to get off house arrest or some shit.
Yeah, but the movie, I mean, I don't. It seemed like it was received well by most people and people who are fans of the games. But it was fun. It was a fun, like, good quality movie, and it went in a direction that I didn't expect it to go. Honestly, I don't know the lore of the game. I don't know if there is that much lore, or if it's it's like fan made lore. But it's like all these, it's like all the animatronics are. Big missing children or something.
Yeah.
And Josh Hutcherson is the main character, and he is kind of like, I don't want to say he's like a deadbeat, but he can't keep a job.
He's just kind of a bum.
He's got like some PTSD from when he was a younger kid, and he's taking care of his much younger sister, and both of their parents are passed at this point. And his aunt is like trying to take custody of the younger sister because she just wants like the government paycheck from being the guardian.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun time. It's streaming on Amazon Prime.
This was pretty shitty reception on my average rating of my friends list on Letterboxd for this is 2.2.
Oh yeah, I'm looking. Mine is 2 and 1 and 2.
2.6.
Mitch gave it a 1.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Jack gave it 3.5, like you and me did.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I thought it was fun.
I had a good time. So that's streaming on Prime.
And way better than Wally's Wonderland.
Oh yeah,
that movie fucking sucks.
A wasted Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
So that's streaming on Prime, and then I caught up with Pete's streaming pick from last week or a couple weeks ago. Streaming on Apple TV, The Instigators.
Oh yeah,
starring Matt Damon and Casey Affleck.
Another one that people hated
in Boston. Yeah, people didn't like it for some reason.
Yeah,
I thought it was a good time.
Yeah,
this is funny. It was kind of like it was. I don't. You just like were watching it, and it's just like you're just having a good time. Like there's not any sort of deep thought to have about the movie. It's just like you're watching this guy who's never done a crime before. he's never been involved with the mob before, and he's like going through like a divorce, or he went through a divorce, and he needs exactly $32,840 from this job to pay off something. They don't even know if they specifically say what it's for. But it's him and Casey Affleck for the most part as they go on a job, and it kind of goes awry, and the stakes get higher and higher. And Ron Perlman, being the kind of crazy, coked out mayor of Boston, it goes in a direction that I didn't expect it to go, and it was fun. It was a fun time. Doug Liman movie. So
the Brinks truck scene was pretty good.
Yeah. Just them like bickering at each other, like, you gonna fucking drive? What's with you and the driving, huh?
Yeah. We got some activity in the chat. Number one, Joe Bridges says, 5 nights in a row, labor laws. Tyler would be surprised that me and all my coworkers work 12-hour nights from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Mostly 4 to 5 nights in a row. That is how most jobs work, Tyler. 5 nights. You work 5 days in a row.
Yeah, but I was under the impression that it was like consecutive. Like you don't go home. Like
you just come back the next night and you work.
Yeah,
5 nights, not
like
5 days in.
Like what I was under the impression of is that this poor human being is sitting watching security cameras for 5 nights in a row, like
5 full days.
Yeah,
nights.
like they're not going anywhere.
And then Kevin from Real Spoilers in the chat, and he says that Willy's Wonderland is much better than Five Nights at Freddy's, which is not factually incorrect.
Easy disagree.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna have their wrong opinion.
And then he says that we're awful and we're fired. What? Because of our opinion about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, it was.
Heather says it's entry level horror for youngins, which is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need it to be Hereditary.
Yeah, it's not. It's like
fired.
It's like kind of violent. It's a PG-13 movie, so. But it was kind of brutal in some parts.
Yeah.
So the Instigators streaming on Apple TV. Worth your time. It's fun.
Do you like Gronkowski?
Oh yeah, just like the random,
nowhere,
just random.
He has to be. I mean, if you think about it, it's like a mayoral fundraiser, and he's there.
It was like because it was like the election.
Yeah, it was election
and
night
he
for the
wouldn't
mayor.
and he wouldn't concede. It was like a homage to Trump in 2020. I went and rewatched a movie that we reviewed a while ago. Rewatched Punch Drunk Love.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Streaming on Hulu.
Great movie.
And I didn't go back and listen to the episode to hear what I don't remember what I thought about it. I knew I liked it, but watching it again, I felt like I liked it even more.
Yeah.
Just like his character and how tragic his life is. Even before we meet him in the story, like just growing up with 7 sisters and how they treat him and the things they say to him.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Hey, remember when we called you gay boy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, you freaked out. Remember that?
No. I don't think that's how it went. No, I don't think so.
This is where I think this put Adam Sandler like on the map as being a serious actor.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And I would say this, I wasn't a fan of Uncut Gems as much because I compared this movie to Uncut Gems because I haven't really seen Adam Sandler in like a serious role. I think, I guess Click, you could probably
that you've seen. Like you've seen Click.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know he did a movie
because
with
like
Don Cheadle, Rain on Me.
Rain on Me.
I haven't seen
Rain on
that
Me,
one.
and then also Spaceman.
Oh yeah, Spaceman. Oh yeah, Spaceman. That was a good one.
Spaceman.
So I think this is probably one of his best like dramatic roles that he's done.
Kevin in the chat says this is his best role.
Yeah, Punch Drunk Love is such a... I mean, it's a PTA movie, so it's like there's a level of weirdness to it.
Yeah.
But like this one is just... Like the opening scene with the car crash is so weird. It's just out of place. And then dropping the piano off and that being sort of like a safe space for him throughout the movie. And then obviously the main storyline of him getting scammed out of some money or identity theft or something.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's like blackmail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really solid movie and it's really short.
It's the only movie I can think of in recent memory where the second it was done, I put it back on and started it over again.
Yeah, it's such a fun world that Paul Thomas Anderson made with the music and with very like romantic and cutesy. Although there's not that many cutesy things that happen in the movie.
Yeah.
Other than like their relationship, but even then, when like they're in Hawaii and he's like, "I wish I would just want to bash your head in with a sledgehammer."
Yeah.
You're so cute.
I really like that. And Philip Seymour Hoffman is really great in it as well.
D&D Mattress Man.
Yeah.
It's just, I agree. I mean, cutesy, I guess, is a
Well, Paul Thomas Anderson says he wanted to make a Hollywood musical, romantic musical without music.
Yeah.
No musical numbers. So no dancing, no whatever.
That's why it has that sort of like that kind of score, that like old Hollywood, the strings.
Yeah, and it's a little in the fantastical mysticism. Cool. I'm glad you liked it even more better. It's one of my. I have a hard time because There Will Be Blood is such an amazing film, but I feel better when I watch Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah,
and I think the Phantom Thread has become my favorite of his. Every time I watch it, it gets better. And Punch Drunk Love is like the same way, but it's harder to put on There Will Be Blood.
Yeah, because
it's heavy and it's long.
Yeah. There's a lot to it,
and it's like it's a lot of bummer.
Because you're watching this fucking asshole the whole time.
I hate most people.
Yeah. Oh man, that fire scene with what is it? It's cousin or brother? Was it?
Fire.
He said
Like the fire.
He says it's
like
his brother.
Oh, by the bonfire.
Yeah, by the bonfire.
It's a guy who's faking to be his brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Deanna was in the room when I was watching Punch Drunk Love, and it's funny that I kind of agree with it, but it's obviously very different. Like Wes Anderson and Paul Thomas Anderson, very different filmmakers, but there's like shots that Paul Thomas Anderson does that like would fit in a Wes Anderson movie.
Right.
Yeah, they're scaled back with the color palette.
A lot of like flat,
framing.
like straight on flat shots on tracks.
Yeah.
They're going side to side.
Yeah.
That definitely fit within a Wes Anderson movie.
Where's that streaming again?
That's on Hulu.
Nice, cool.
Also, just the look, like just how the way it's shot is fantastic.
Yeah.
But that goes for any Paul Thomas Anderson movie for the most part.
Yeah.
And my last one, I watched, also streaming on Hulu. I finally caught up with Dinner in America.
Oh, right.
And this was a good, honestly, kind of a good pairing with Suburbia.
Really?
Just because the nature of the character of Kyle Gallner's character. It was this was really good.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie. It is like, there's a character who is quirky, and she reminded me of like a Charlene Yee.
Yeah, she's the best. She's so good.
And she's just a very odd girl. The beginning of this movie, the characters reminded me of characters from like that would fit in like a Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
But this is a very crude and vulgar movie. Basically about this guy who's like he's like a punk kid, and he's kind of on the run from the cops throughout the entire movie. And he's just going around selling drugs, and he's evading cops, and he runs into Patty, his character's name, who is sitting outside in her break, outside the pet store, and they start talking, and he's like, "You got a place I can go, like I can hide," and so she takes him back to her house with her.
That's what any sane normal person would do.
With her parents and her younger brother, and she's like 20 years old. And he's just like obviously an outlier compared to everybody else that you encounter throughout the movie. There's some there's a few reveals that I did not expect in this movie that I don't want to give away, because there was two reveals like one right after the other about characters. I was like, oh shit. I didn't even know that was a thing, and now it's a thing. And then later in the movie, there's another one that I was like, oh, that is a really interesting element to include about this character. That kind of like doesn't change your perspective, but it explains a lot. But yeah, this was a really, really good movie. And the director also did Snack Shack, which I was a big fan of, that I talked about last week.
This song is at the end is...
Yeah, it reminded me of Scott Pilgrim a little bit.
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim music.
It like, this is on...
Turn it off. People who haven't watched it, that was a good surprise to hear when you get to that point in the movie. But yeah, the characters, this is a very kind of cutesy movie. Doesn't really start that way because the nature of his character is very aggressive, has like some, I don't know, anger issues, but
very much so.
He's very rebellious, and but it turns into like these characters who would never normally, you wouldn't expect to be hanging out. It like evolves into them being like, of course they would hang out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're made for each other.
Yeah. It's really, really good.
Good. I'm really glad you saw it, Tyler. You'd love this movie, Dinner in America.
I saw the trailer for it. I was like,
not for me. New movie? No thanks.
Yeah, you know me so well.
Well, you should watch it.
Yeah, you should.
No, I do. That sounds like a good time.
But yeah, it's just like,
where's the streaming again?
That's on Hulu now.
Hulu also? Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then my last two movies, I watched Skincare,
Oh, I didn't get a chance to watch it.
which is in theaters now, I believe. This is starring Elizabeth Banks, Lewis Pullman, son of Bill Pullman, I believe.
Really?
I didn't look it up, but they look alike.
That's a dynamite poster.
Nathan Fillion for a little bit.
All right.
And Luis Gerardo Mendez.
Oh, okay.
And Michael J. Rodriguez. I can't remember. Hey, one of those actors is the supposed adversary to Elizabeth Banks. Elizabeth Banks' character is a Hollywood like facialist, like skincare specialist.
Oh, okay.
And she is the beginning of the movie. She's on the news with Nathan Fillion. He's like a news anchor, and she's promoting her skincare line that's coming out. And then the next day, this other guy, this new skincare specialist, moves in essentially across the street from her, and introduces competition to her as well. And then right off the bat, they have a rivalry. And Lewis Pullman plays like a friend of a friend, and that ends up being more of a friend to her. And he's like a life coach, so he says. I don't want to get into too much.
What kind of a genre is this? It's a comedy?
It's
The
fun.
poster doesn't look like it's a comedy.
It's like a dark comedy.
Okay. All right.
And it's more about what I took from it is that it's more about how women are like harassed / not believed in their like are victim blamed or whatever. And less about the story itself, because there's like some motivations that I didn't quite understand, and that kind of like why is he doing this in the first place?
Yeah.
But it was a kind of a tense watch. I gave about like a 3.5 on Letterboxd.
Okay, cool.
Definitely worth a watch.
Skincare?
Yeah, skincare. And that's in theaters right now, I believe.
Cool.
And then finally, only in theaters right now, went and saw Alien Romulus.
Nice.
Opening night. I saw it at IMAX.
Same.
And, well, I saw it at Esquire IMAX.
Joseph saw it in a real IMAX.
Yeah.
I saw it in a fake ass IMAX. Limax.
Is it lie like a lie? Like it's a lie?
It's just a nickname. Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's a lie. It's not
Limax.
real IMAX. It's a lie.
And
Liars.
And I know that on our Cinemax page, there's a whole post about it.
Oh yeah,
people bickering.
Bruce.
About Alien?
Yeah.
I didn't read
You
any
didn't
of the
see
comments.
that one?
No.
Oh my
I've
god.
seen some very divisive reviews about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce Perky, he tore a new asshole to Alien Romulus.
Oh, Angry Otter's in the chat, and he says he was very disappointed with Romulus.
Ah, man, see, it's so divisive.
I can't wait to hear what Tyler says about it.
Yeah.
I almost saw it last night, but I
You
just
should have. You have a movie podcast, you know.
I know.
You claim to be an Aliens fan.
I
Yeah.
am, but I just didn't have
So it's very much like it's like a generational thing, I think, because it reminds me of all the people who went to a Deftones concert, but then 100 Gex opened for them.
What the fuck? Wait, where are you going with this?
And then all of the old heads of Deftones fans were like pissed off because
I'd be pissed off.
100 Gex opened
I'd be
for
pissed
them.
off.
It was that, and that's what I equate.
Such a good
That's what I equate
metaphor.
like this to, because Alien is like a beloved franchise,
Okay.
specifically the first one and Aliens.
Yeah.
And they're both very good movies. And Alien especially is a really good movie. I come from a different generation, like we all do. And watching Alien Romulus, there's a lot of pull from the other Alien movies in terms of like the references,
Yeah,
or just like
quite a few
lines, or like the story beats. It was
Is there a cat in there?
no, there's no cat. There's no cat. But I really dug it. I really dug Romulus. It was a good horror movie, like a good space horror movie. It was very tense. Really great sound design, very great effects, really like great practical effects. I know that we talked about that.
Yeah.
Before it came out, and
Fetty was very proud of his practical.
And the characters, I mean, like, you going into an Alien movie, everyone's gonna die. That's not a spoiler.
Everyone? Yes.
Everyone. And the android in this one was really the standout performance, I think.
He was phenomenal.
He was really good, which is always interesting about like
The androids.
The androids, like in Prometheus and in Covenant.
Yeah, because Fassbender did an incredible job. He carried that movie.
It's so funny though, because they're robots. So like they're like stereotypically they don't have any emotion.
Yeah.
But that's the biggest thing that we take from those movies, the performance-wise, is that the android was the best part.
The actors who played Andy, the android, is Andy Android.
Yeah.
David Johnson was his name.
David Johnson.
I mean,
he's fantastic.
I was a big fan of how they made this movie. It felt like a video game. Like it felt like Isolation a little bit. It also felt like an alien like ride. Like I was in like a roller coaster or something, or like going through like a simulator of like just being scared.
Kind of like going like through like the Jaws ride in
Yeah,
Universal
kind of.
Studios.
But it's dark.
It's
it's dark and steamy. But yeah, I really dug it, and it was it just looks really well. Looks really well. It looks really well done. It just looks like looks good. Some of the visuals in this were very eerie and creepy. They're specifically in the third act of the movie, which took me by surprise.
Yeah,
because there's something that happens in the theater that I was in. It was like, because it's like a silent reveal, like there's no music or sound or anything. It was like audible gasps from everybody. It was
I'm curious what that is. There's a lot of surprising things in this.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest one. Anyway,
we'll get into that.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a really good time with it. It was something that I could definitely see myself watching again.
Give it like a rating or grade or something. 4 stars, 4.5.
Yeah, I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd.
Okay, cool.
I was on a movie high.
Yeah.
When it ended. Super fun time.
Great. Awesome.
All right, Pete. Wait, is that?
That's
the
the
last
it.
one.
Okay. Pete, what do you have for us this week for streaming picks?
Well, I will piggyback off of that because I also saw Alien Romulus, and my thoughts are that I'm an easy to please person, right? I try not to like tear down movies. I think that even like low budget kind of crappy movies, they can do a lot with the little budget they have.
Sure.
This movie was made for $80 million.
Yeah.
The creator was made for about $85 million. Both phenomenal looking movies. They look fantastic. There is some of the facehugger stuff I don't think looked great. They overused it a little bit, overextended themselves, I think, a little bit. And there is a legacy character that is brought back that it looks terrible.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely abject misery I was in as I was watching it.
Yeah.
And if they were to take like put one scene and be like, okay, this is established, this is the character, and then they just shoot everything from the back and use the voice, so they don't have to show this like,
or use shadows.
Yeah. Or it's I won't spoil it anymore, but there's a lot of things they could have done to shoot around that. But they, instead of doing that, they go back to that character over and over and over again, and he becomes a source of exposition. So they're like,
so it's a he.
Sure. Yeah. We're bringing back one of the hundreds of legacy characters they have that are male.
It's Ron Perlman.
Yeah, it's Ron Perlman.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. No, it's Stephen Dorff when he's imitating the xenomorph in Resurrection. No, but he becomes now this person that keeps popping in. It's like, well, you better do this because time's going to run out, and you're like, why do they have to show that again? It just took me out of it every time. It took me out of it. All that being said, strong 4 stars, like almost 4.5 stars, because
despite that,
because I'm in the alien world. Number one, they have a little bit more world building to the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, and they show what the workers of that corporation are basically living with.
Yeah, it's more rich.
Yeah,
And
you get an established, like, here's why this character must go do this thing that she doesn't want to do, and it makes sense, and they have like their stakes at there, and some of it didn't all make perfect sense, but it's like every alien movie that we see, you see like a new variation of the xenomorph,
right?
Or a new slight twist of the lore. You know, in Prometheus, they have that black sludge that the engineer drinks at the beginning and like disintegrates his DNA.
Yeah,
and you're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
what is that? Well, maybe they expand a little bit on that here. And then, one of the xenomorphs is birthed from one of the engineers, and he looks different than a xenomorph birthed from a human.
Right.
So it's like, is it taking some of the DNA of the host and then extrapolating that to a xenomorph? Maybe it is. They play with that idea in this too. There's so many cool little twists and like additions to the lore that if you were to, I feel like complaining about those sort of things is like people that are complaining about like the Star Wars sequels, and they're like, oh, now they have forced teleportation. Where the fuck was that in episode 4,
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but it's a new movie. We want to do new things. And it's like, if you could believe that someone could choke you with your finger, force choke a person, or like make someone do something they wouldn't do before, like a fucking zombie, basically, take over their brain with the force, why couldn't you believe that they could teleport something or whatever? Yeah. It doesn't make it, to me, it seems like a natural extension of the lore. And in Romulus, there is some natural extensions of the lore, which I appreciated. They play with some of the physical characteristics of the aliens in a way that I've never seen before. In Alien Resurrection, one of the xenomorphs attacks another xenomorph, and they spin their tail around and use the acid as like a whip. Yeah, and they like shoot the acid, but from a busted tail, and you're like, ooh, that's interesting use of acid blood. Right. This has an even more interesting use of acid blood. And it uses a pre-set up plot device that was established earlier in the movie. Yeah. You're like, a lot of it is good. And then they do a direct quote from one earlier Alien sequel, which in the timeline hadn't existed yet. And you're like, why'd they do that? So this takes place between Alien and Aliens, closer to Aliens.
It's 20 years after Alien.
Yeah, and the Aliens is 57 years after the original. Right. So it's about halfway between the two. And there's a line that is said in Aliens that you're like, so it's just very coincidental.
Oh, she has a monopoly on those words.
Yeah.
No one else can say it ever.
Sure. It didn't bother me, but I was like,
oh, so it's Sigourney Weaver.
No. So it's that didn't bother me, but it was also in my head I was thinking like, if you could do a version of that without like a direct pull quote in almost the exact same scenario, it would feel like it was a little bit more natural. Like it almost feels like some of the fan service was shoehorned in. That brings it down from a 5-star to like a strong 4. Okay. Those things. If I were to get rid of the Snapchat level AI face swap and get rid of some of the like clunky shoehorned in fan service, it would be like phenomenal. So there's a lot to love here, and if you're looking for something to hate, there's enough to hate if you have that willingness to do that. Sure. If you're just looking to have a good time and like get scared by some xenomorphs and some new versions of the xenomorphs, you're like, fuck, okay, this does it. And Joseph is 100% correct. David Johnson is phenomenal in this. He plays Andy, the android, and Kaylee Spaney continues her reign. She was Priscilla. She was in
Priscilla. Oh yeah, Priscilla.
She was in Civil War, and now she's the lead in this. And she's phenomenal in, I haven't seen Priscilla, but everybody that I've heard says that she's the best part of it. All right. So, loved it. Thought it was great. Can't wait to watch it again at home, again and again and again. So, all right. My actual streaming picks that are not in theaters, worst to first. I'm going to start with, this movie called Loose. L-U-Z.
Get loose.
Yeah, Bangels. It's I want to say it's Argentinian. This is from the guy that made Cuckoo. And everyone's talking about, before you watch Cuckoo, you got to watch Loose.
Is it Cuckoo or Cuckoo? It's Cuck.
No, it's Cuckoo. It's like a cuckoo bird.
Cuckoo.
I guess so. It doesn't seem like spelling wise it would be pronounced that way.
Yeah, cuckoo birds are spelled like
cuckoo.
Cuckoo.
Cuck.
I have a feeling that the storyline is probably going to have something to do with that, because cuckoo birds, what they do is they fly into another bird's nests and they push out the eggs of that bird and they lay their own egg in there. Yeah. So when their egg is hatched, the other mother bird takes care of their own baby. So I have a feeling that's probably going to take
genius.
It's probably going to have something
to
do
old
with
switcheroo.
Excuse me. That's probably going to have something to do with the storyline of Cuckoo. So, but I watched Loose. the prequel, well, not prequel, but the movie that came before this writer-director. It's streaming on AMC Plus and Shudder. The person who made this, his name is Tillman Singer, and this is in German and Spanish. Because apparently there's a lot of Germans in Argentina.
Yeah. They escaped.
Because the Nazis.
The Nazis.
This movie is not good.
Okay.
It is interesting, and it is visually kind of stimulating, and there's some ideas in it that I thought were very interesting. Mm-hmm. But it really was just kind of a lot of ideas that never really made a cohesive story, and it really didn't go any place that made me engaged with it. So very confused. It says, Luce, a young cab driver, drags herself into the brightly lit entrance of a rundown police station. A demonic entity follows her, determined to finally be close to the woman it loves. So there's some cool stuff here, and it's a mess. So watch it or don't if you don't want to.
What was the stream?
AMC Plus and Shudder. I watched it on Shudder. Next up, we're all going to the World's Fair.
Oh.
Streaming on Hoopla, Kanopy, and Max. This is by writer-director Jane Schoenbrunn. Jane Schoenbrunn, who did I Saw the TV Glow most recently. And I found out about this movie because when it came out, 2021, people on Twitter were giving it some bad reviews. And Jane Schoenbrunn would retweet them and cuss out the people that were giving bad reviews.
Okay.
And directly attack these people that were saying, hey, and it wasn't like the person who made this movie should be put in prison. It was like, I didn't really like this movie at all. It kind of went nowhere. It was a vibe that had nothing going for it.
And he's just like, who are you?
More or less. It was like, well, how about you...
how about you go to hell?
Yeah, how about you learn how to form a cohesive thought before you watch a movie that challenges you fascist or something like that.
Oh.
And like
that kind of person.
She was
fascists.
really going after these people, and I'm like, that is not a good look. And then I think deleted a lot of the stuff and apologized for it, and then kept doing it.
Oh, okay.
So I immediately was already turned off by the filmmaker. And this is the synopsis says, reality and fantasy begin to blur when teenager Casey, alone in her attic bedroom, immerses herself in a role-playing horror game online. And it's like a Bloody Mary type thing, and you're like, you say these things, and you
say Bloody Mary 3 times in a bathroom mirror.
Kind of. She goes on webcam and she's doing a live stream, and she goes, I'm going to do the World's Fair Challenge. All right, chat, I'm going to do the World's Fair Challenge. And she goes, I want to go to the World's Fair. I want to go to the World's Fair.
Don't say it.
I want to go to the World's Fair.
No, you've haunted us.
And then that's it. And then throughout the course of the next few weeks, supposedly, if you do it right, your body changes and your world changes, and you become a different person. Huh? That's as much as I could surmise.
Okay.
So people are uploading.
Right.
It's like a creepypasta.
Yeah.
And people are
Tumblr story.
Yeah, it's like a Tumblr story.
Tumblr story.
And
remember Tumblr, kids?
And she's obsessed with this, and she's a very lonely child, and she's up in her attic bedroom, and her dad's not particularly nice to her, even though you never meet him. He just like shouts at her from the downstairs, and she's obsessed with this, this thing, this
going
online,
to the World Fair.
Yeah, this World's Fair Challenge. So she's constantly watching videos of people's like, oh, I did the World's Fair Challenge a week ago, and I swear, I could feel, worms crawling through my my veins, and they're just like recording themselves, and you're like, these are just poor, disenfranchised children that have no friends.
It kind of reminds me of that Simpsons episode where Bart and Nelson and Ralph and Milhouse, they want to go to the World Fair, but they realize it's not a thing anymore. Mm-hmm. You remember that episode where they steal a car and they yeah, because the funny
just the name, because they're going to kind of go to the World Fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna go on a tangent, but please continue.
Okay, you can go on a tangent on your streaming picks.
Okay. Yeah.
This is your episode. You can do whatever you want, actually.
Okay. Well, fine.
You can tell them to shut up.
I remember that there was a time where I thought that the World Fair was still a thing when I was like 12, 11 years old, and I wanted to go, much like Bart did in Bart and Gang. And I was like, I want to go to the World Fair. I want to go to the World Fair. Mm-hmm. I want to go to the World Fair.
And now here you are. Your body's changing. You've become this creature that
Oh my
sits in
God,
front of
there's
us
worms.
now. Well, that was years ago. You've changed into what you've become today.
No, but why don't we have a World Fair anymore?
we got the
Anyways, I'm
internet.
sorry. I don't know.
What is it? What was it? Dude, I don't know.
It was almost like
It was a showcasing of like futuristic
Yeah.
technology.
Yeah, it was almost like a consumer CES.
Sounds like something that happened in the 50s.
No, it happened in way earlier than that. It was like in the 20s, 30s.
Angry Otter says he went to the Aichi World's Fair in the early 2000s and it was amazing.
Aichi.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Aichi.
So anyways,
I itchy.
So basically, it's just like the kind of thing like where you just like, you know, you say something three times in a mirror and then spooky stuff happens. Cool.
So, anyways, this poor girl is obsessed with watching the reactions of these other people who are also sad and alone in their rooms, and just talking about the thing that's happening to them, and it just nothing happens. And it's very frustrating. It's very annoying. Heather says that she did not like the movie either, and she will still watch I Saw the TV Glow, which I am absolutely going to still watch that because I've heard very good things, and that is based off of a creepypasta too.
Really?
Yes. So this person
No
was just
originality in
none
Hollywood.
whatsoever.
I've heard either it's really good, and I've also heard it's really bad.
It's a vibe. You know?
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. If you're on board with the vibe, you're in. If you watch it and you want something more, yeah, you're not gonna get it. I watched a rental that's out now that's still in theaters. Twisters. The sequel to
I
Twister.
thought you saw that in theaters.
I did not.
Oh.
No.
Who saw that? Oh, that was my parents who saw it in theaters.
Yes, you get us mixed up because we're such close friends. Me and your mom and Daryl.
They're a throuple now.
We were gonna go together, but I just couldn't go. It's a 3.5-star movie. My review on Letterboxd says, "God, it's so dumb. I love it."
Okay.
Yeah, it's a super fun and super stupid movie. It is dumb as shit. It is dumber than a bag of hammers. This is
Was there
really
was
bad.
there was
It's
there
really stupid.
was Pepsi Can still involved in there?
Yes, there were.
Yes.
Yes, there were. There is a Dorothy 5 now. But it is very fun, and Glenn Powell is I don't even know if he's like a human being. He's like some sort of weird smug robot that exists only for movies, you know. Like he's really you know how like Tom Cruise used to be confident and smarmy, but like very I don't know, like he was like a sex symbol and, and he was very
I get what you're saying.
He was impressive when he was young. Now he's just it's almost like he's ascended to another smug plane. Tom Cruise now, you know.
Yeah.
Glenn Powell skipped the first stage and now he's just in the smug level.
Oh.
Like
So he's already up there.
every line he says, I could feel the smug dripping out of his pores, you know?
Yeah.
But it works for the character. And he's like,
Well, that's good.
it's funny because they're like YouTubers and they're the up and coming, ruffian storm chasers.
yeah.
No, storm riders. Is
Oh,
what they call
that's what they
themselves.
call them, storm riders.
Yeah.
All right.
And the whole plot is that the main girl, let's see who she's played by.
Daisy Edgar Jones, right?
Yes, yeah, that's who it is. I can never remember her name. She's a college graduate, and she was trying to do something in her college class for a thesis, and instead of throw the sensors up into the tornado like the Dorothy 2, it was a super absorbent material to get sucked up and kill the tornado. Like suck the moisture out of it and then kill the tornado. There's they never explicitly say it, but it almost seems like when they do that, it makes the tornado worse. Because they do it a couple times, and every time it's not good. It does turn out well for these people. But this is a slight spoiler, so if you're going to watch Twisters and you don't want to be spoiled or whatever, skip ahead 10 seconds. But the first time you see what the Storm Riders actually do, he drives his Dodge Ram pickup truck into the middle of a tornado and shoots off fireworks into the middle of the tornado, and they make like this firework tornado for his YouTube channel for the views.
Oh my god!
And that's what kills the tornado.
Does it
Fireworks?
Yes. And his Dodge Ram pickup truck, the way it doesn't get picked up by the tornado is that he's installed giant corkscrew device that drills into the ground to anchor him into the ground on this truck. And you're like, he's like,
schlocky.
all right, lock us in. And he pulls the lever and
Lock us in.
drills into the earth. And you're like, what the fuck is this movie? But it was a lot of fun. Really, really fun. Oh, Storm Wranglers. I'm sorry, Kevin says, not Storm Riders. He does say,
Oh, storm wranglers.
you don't face your fears, you ride them. That's the tagline. So so that is streaming for on rental right now. You got to pay for it, but it is a lot of fun. Turn your brain off before you start this movie because it is dumb. Next up on Hulu, I watched a documentary called The Contestant from 2023. This is about a Japanese game show contestant who was unaware that he was participating in a show, and he basically unwittingly got locked in a single room, completely naked for over a year, and the only thing he could do to survive was send away for magazine giveaways.
What?
They told him they didn't even.
This is Old Boy.
Exactly, Old Boy, but in real life.
It's Old Boy and Truman Show mixed together.
It's 100%. You nailed it. And
He's locked in the room
sad.
nude.
He's the nicest guy, and he's so sad. And the game show, the showrunner is being interviewed in it years later. No charges have been pressed for some reason.
How'd they get him in there?
So he signed up to be in a show from the producers of this very famous game show. It was in Japan at the time. And he was signed up, and they did a random draw of like the 20 people in the room. And they picked his name, and he thought, okay, well, now I'm going to go to the next level and get qualified for whatever it is. They just lead him into this room and tell him to get naked, and they shut the door.
Get naked.
And they shut the door, and they never come back. For a year.
Do they feel? I mean,
They feed him, I assume.
He's got like crackers and water, and then
he's only surviving on crackers
he has
and
to
water.
win food from the magazines.
What the fucking
and
dystopian
clothes from the magazines. He's naked the whole time. His by the time it's all over, his hair's grown out. His beard is all long and stuff.
This feels illegal.
It absolutely.
Okay, so wait, what do you mean win like by the magazines?
So
like,
you know how when you're going through a magazine and it has like a little thing that says, clip this out and send it in for a chance to win or whatever.
Oh my God.
So the only thing in the room is the little tiny kitchenette, a table with about 5,000 postcards to send off, pre-stamped, and then a whole magazine rack full of magazines. And he just has to go all day and just send away for this
This is torture.
So he wins, at one point, he wins like live lobsters, and he's like, lobsters! And he goes, oh shit, how do I cook these? I got nothing to cook them with. And then he has to figure out how to cook them with the rudimentary shit that he's got in this room. And then he wins like a set of car tires. And then he wins a bag of rice. And he's like, oh my God, I get to eat rice. And he has to cook the rice, but he has no pots and pans to cook the rice in. So he has to figure out how to do that.
How do you even figure out if you don't have it?
It is a really intense situation. And I feel so bad for him.
Is this like a recent thing that just happened? Or
within the last like 15 years.
Jesus
like
Christ.
Damn.
And there is a happy ending. It's not all terrible. But the whole time he's in there, he doesn't even know that he's in a game, and he doesn't know he doesn't even know there's a camera there, so he's talking to the camera, but he doesn't know that it's like going on live TV or anything like that.
What did they tell him?
Nothing.
Like, go in this room.
Yeah, they just let him in there,
and he's like, okay.
And granted, they are these high-profile TV producers, so he assumes he's going to be eventually something. But they thought maybe they'll record it and they'll edit it into something, whatever.
Does he have nothing else going on in his life that he was just able to do this?
Yeah, I mean, he wanted to be famous and he wanted to entertain people because he was made fun of as a kid, and he thought making people laugh was, disarming or whatever.
Okay,
so he wanted to be famous, but
okay, I get it.
While he's in there, he becomes ultra famous. Like everybody knows who this guy is.
Interesting.
And they call him Eggplant because his face is very long. He's got a slightly longer face than a normal person, and they
that's because of his huge wing.
They're kind of well. Supposedly, this is where the eggplant emoji came from because during the broadcast, they would cover his junk up with an eggplant because that was his nickname.
Oh,
okay.
Supposedly.
So he
supposedly,
was,
and he was famous while he was in there.
He was well hung.
No, no, it was that's just what they covered up. His nickname was Eggplant because his face was long.
But they would cover his genitalia.
They covered his balls up, was junk up with the eggplant emoji.
Instead of a blur or a black bar, it would just be an eggplant.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, anyways, the whole goal was he can get let out after he wins 1 million yen worth of products, but he doesn't know that. So he's just going and going and going.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's crazy. So
that's a compelling documentary.
It's compelling. That's called The Contestant. It's on Hulu. I absolutely recommend people to watch it.
Cool.
Next up, I watched Manhunter streaming on Amazon Prime and the Criterion Channel. This is a sequel to Silence of the Lambs.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
And guess who plays Hannibal Lecter?
Yo mama.
Brian Cox.
Oh.
Brian Cox. Yes.
Brian Cox?
Yes.
Oh.
From Succession.
I guess that makes sense.
Yes. FBI agent Will Graham, who retired from catching Hannibal Lecter, returns to duty to engage in a risky cat and mouse game with Lecter to capture a new killer. This is a Michael Mann joint. I watched it because it was Michael Mann, and I've heard good things. And there is a couple insane scenes in this, and this is just like what was it that I watched? A Blowout of him recently, or was that no? That was De Palma. I watched another Michael Mann movie recently that was pretty good.
Ferrari.
I thought Red Dragon.
Miami Vice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Red Dragon was the sequel to Silence of the Lambs.
This is the Red Dragon. This is based off of the book Red Dragon.
Manhunter?
Manhunter, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if I haven't seen Red Dragon, so I don't know if it follows the same storyline, but this is from 86.
So Manhunter is not the official sequel of Silence of the Lambs, the movie, because this came out in 1986.
Yeah, it's Silence of the Lambs is the book.
But the story,
is the book and then
I see.
Right.
Okay.
So very interesting.
Was that streaming? Criterion Channel.
Criterion Channel, Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
I watched Disturbia because after we got done watching Suburbia, Brianna said,
I want to
fuck, we
Urbia.
need to watch something to cleanse the palate. Let's watch Disturbia. That's way better. And we watched the Shia LaBeouf movie from 2007, directed by DJ Caruso, Disturbia, loosely based off of, what's it called? That Alfred Hitchcock movie, Rear Window.
Rear Window?
Yeah,
Yeah.
loosely based off of Rear Window.
I thought it was in another Simpsons episode.
And Shia LaBeouf with a unfortunately named character Kale, K-A-L-E, just like the cruciferous leafy vegetable.
The horrible vegetable. Yeah.
I don't know why I put this above Manhunter and The Contestant, but it says probably like a 3-star movie. Maybe 3.5. It's actually pretty fun. It's the fun factor is high, and David Morse plays a great villain. So
I saw this in the theaters with my dad.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
I remember
slightly horny movie too.
He gets like
It is
he's
a slightly
he's like
horny
on
movie.
house arrest.
Yeah,
right.
because he punches his teacher.
Yeah.
And he gets his Xbox taken away or something.
Xbox and his iTunes and the cable.
So all he has is
Literally has nothing to do except
all he
for
has is his binoculars
to spy on his next door neighbor. Hot next door neighbor.
I like that part of the movie, like the sort of like spying your neighbor thing.
Yeah.
Streaming on Pluto TV, Paramount Plus, and Fubo.
Nice.
And then I watched your streaming pick from last week, Snack Shack.
Nice.
Follow up with
Top of the list.
Yes. Silence of the Lambs is the sequel to Manhunter, says Adam.
Oh, it's opposite. Oh, Adam's in the chat.
What up, Adam? Yeah. Hold on a second. We got a little.
Neither of us talked
Adam
about
Murphy.
We didn't talk about Shock Treatment because it's not streaming.
Yeah, I know we really can't.
What a wild movie.
Yeah, that was weird. But yeah, Snack Shack streaming on MGM Plus. Very, very fun.
Yeah.
Way more emotional than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Characters are super good. The finale was great. And I didn't like his friend character just because that's the point.
Moose? That's his name, right? The asshole friend.
Yeah, the asshole friend. I just fucking the worst, this guy. But I like their hustle. I liked that I always had a little shtick going. And I've said it before many times in on the show. I like cons. I like grifts in movies when someone's trying to get one over on someone else and they got this whole plan how they're going to, trick this person and steal money from this guy. And they got all these little cons and stuff. They have a million of those.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
They remind me of like Edda and Eddie. Like they're just like always looking to make a quarter,
Yeah.
Yeah, super fun. Yeah, AJ and Moose are the two characters. And directed by Adam Remeyer, which is the director of Dinner in America. Also wrote both those movies. I can't wait to see what he does next.
Yeah, he wrote, directed, and edited Dinner in America.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he edited this one too.
Yeah, they're very similar in vibe. They're both like wholesome in some way, like in some small way.
Full of F-bombs and cursing and like degenerate behavior, but in a very strange way, like oddly wholesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I like the fuck dogs were funny.
Yeah.
Fuck dogs were great. I don't know, just a really Snack Shack is it's a pretty solid movie.
Yeah.
Not quite as good as Alien Romulus, but anyways, those are what I got, Tyler.
If I gotta compare the two.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just going worst to best.
Heather says no Amazon Woman on the Moon.
Not yet.
Shame.
Shame.
Soon, Heather. Soon.
Yeah.
Is it streaming anywhere?
Yeah.
I think it's just on YouTube for free.
No, it wasn't streaming anywhere, but you can get it on archives, Internet Archives.
Oh, that's right.
Internet.com/archives.
Yeah, internet.com/computer/download/
Yeah.
Amazon Women on the Moon.
Yeah. All right.
So, I don't have a streaming pick. I have an anti-streaming pick this week.
Ooh, all right.
Is it a movie that we recommended?
No.
Come on.
Tyler. For shame.
I watched his movie. See how easy it was?
Dude,
For shame.
Look, I'm sorry.
Don't
I've
say
been-
you're sorry and then not correct the behavior.
Okay, fine. I just won't say anything.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry. You want me to be like that?
No,
Sociopathic?
Well, that'd be nice.
Okay, yeah, no, screw both of you. No, I'm not watching any of your movies.
Okay, good. Perfect.
I'm never watching a movie ever again.
Yeah.
Never again.
Just for that, I'm not watching any movies. Okay, continue.
I don't know what compelled me to do this. I have what? So anti-streaming pick Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig's Lady Bird.
Is this your first time watching it?
No,
Oh.
second time.
Bold
but
choice.
the second time, the first time I watched it, I wasn't really a fan of it. I almost forgot about it. But I don't know what compelled me to watch it again. It was on my Amazon Prime suggested list, and I thought to myself, it's much like the movie Amelie, where I detest the main character, which I also want to revisit that movie again.
Okay.
Because I was very harsh on it the first time watching it as well. But Lady Bird, it was just on my feed. I just had worked an 11-hour shift, and I was restless sitting at my computer chair, and I was like, okay, enough of Bukowski. Let's watch something.
How often do you actually reading Bukowski?
Every day. Yeah.
What's the name of the book?
Yeah.
It's the Essentials of Bukowski. It's just a series.
The best of?
The collection of stories or poems.
Compilations.
Right.
Nice.
So yeah, I read it every day.
Okay. It's your Bible, you might say. That and the Pittsburgh Steelers playbook. Roethlisberger's wristband.
Correct. Yeah. You know me so well.
He's like, all right, now all we got to do is catch her in the bathroom before.
What you got to do is at night.
Yeah.
Enough about the Steelers
Okay,
because I'm still sore about their loss against the Buffalo Bills, which was just horrible.
Okay.
But anyways, Lady Bird, directed by Greta Gerwig, who I have a crush on. I think she is a fox.
Okay.
As we all
herself.
As we all know, that this movie takes place, the setting of this movie takes place in Sacramento, which we all are from, native to.
Yes.
And so a lot of people in Sacramento were very excited about Lady Bird because of the setting. And I was too. I bought into the hype. I was like, oh, I've never heard of a movie being set into Sacramento before. And I think that's with a lot of citizens of Sacramento. Every time you hear it in a song or referenced in a movie or a TV show, you're like, hey, Sacramento.
Yeah.
So again, I just on a whim, I checked it out, and oh my God, Greta, what were you thinking? This movie sucks. This movie sucks. The characters are insufferable.
Okay.
The positive note, though, is that it's very well shot. Greta knows how to shoot a movie, but she doesn't know how to direct her actors. But she knows how to shoot a good movie.
I have a question.
Coming from the same person who loves Little Women,
I love Little Women.
directed by Greta Gerwig.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Do you think they were well directed?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think.
But she doesn't know how to direct characters.
I mean, I guess just specifically for this movie, that's what I was referencing. Not for her whole catalog.
Was Timothy Chalamet your favorite character in this?
Fuck no. I hate that guy. I hate Timothy Chalamet. I hate him.
Okay.
But he says with a smile on his face.
Yeah. He's everything I wish I could be.
He's just like me.
No, he isn't.
Chalamet's on screen again? That guy took my whole aura.
He has what I can't have.
Saoirse Ronan.
So the reason why I didn't like this movie was because it felt like an AI written movie about a person from Sacramento wanting to get out of Sacramento.
Okay.
That's how I felt. Like the main character, Lady Bird.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought the whole like origin of the name like was stupid. Call me Lady Bird. Call me Lady Bird. And she's like, shut the fuck up.
So you're not into people using people's preferred pronouns in the names?
I didn't know Lady Bird was a pronoun.
It's a name.
Like, I don't let people call me Joey because, like, if you call me Joey, I won't acknowledge you.
Is that right, Joey?
So, like,
Ty's so progressive.
So, like,
So progressive.
I mean,
I hate this woman-led movie.
Okay, well, that's not true. That's
I also
not true.
hate I won't use a preferred name.
So this is where I'm coming from because the movie kind of struck like a personal feeling for me, in which when you guys were we were still living in Sacramento, but when you guys were younger, did you ever have like this compelling feeling to leave Sacramento?
no.
No,
I'm not from Sacramento. I'm from Vacaville.
But my story is not.
but
But
that's
my
like-
story is not everybody's story.
I'm not saying it should be everyone's story, but
A lot of people see the town that they grew up in, whether it's a small town or the capital of the state,
Right.
like Sacramento, and they just all they see is I want more. I want the New York. I want Chicago. I want Boston. I
Yeah,
wanna go-
So Lady Bird, she wants to go to New York. Like that's the whole thing. Like she wants to get out of Sacramento. Now, for myself, when I was her age, I wanted to do the same thing, and essentially, I did do the same thing. And then
you
I
went to SLO.
no Humboldt.
Oh, Humboldt.
And then I came back because
You went to San Luis Obispo.
no, what
You didn't spend any time in SLO?
Oh, I would have loved to gone to SLO. That would have been great. The weather is great there.
I don't think anybody there calls it slow. That's how we know that we're not from there.
Maybe so.
People calling it Frisco.
But like I actually did do that though. I did get out of Sacramento and then I came back. And so, but what this movie is that it kind of made me realize that what Greta was going for was what essentially I was going through. But the characters are so like, I mean, you know,
She was a girl.
Yeah. I didn't like how many women. I didn't like how many women were in that movie. That was a really big problem as well.
You only like women-led movies when they're period pieces because they have no rights.
Yeah, correct. I mean, we really should go.
We need to rein it in.
Yeah,
all the
we
rights.
really should go back to that time. No, I'm just saying that. So
Almost
like
we could make America great again or something.
I know. But I was thinking to myself that there is a good story with someone that is like living in it, like you said, Pete, like whether it's state capital or a small town, like there is a good story to be told there for someone who is wanting more and then realizing what they've lost or what they took for granted for.
Yeah.
But for Lady Bird, for myself, I feel like it was such a surface level sort of style of storytelling that it didn't make me feel emotionally connected to Lady Bird and like all the other characters. I think one of the better scenes in that movie that I really liked though was when I don't remember the actor's name, but the kid who's gay.
Lucas Hedges.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Lucas Hedges. Like Lucas Hedges' character, like when he is with like Lady Bird and he starts crying. He's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know how to, like that really got to me. Like that was like a really good scene, but everything else, it felt very pretentious. And I know, Joseph, you thought Frances Ha felt pretentious.
No, that was me.
Oh, that was you. Okay. And I actually really enjoyed Frances Ha. I think that she should have stuck with that style of writing.
She didn't direct that though.
Yeah, she did.
That was Noah Baumbach.
Oh, that's right. Man,
She was just in it, and
She was
I
just
think
in-
she wrote it too with him.
yeah, that I was okay. I knew she was involved in like the creation of the story in some way. But I think that there was an idea there, like, and especially with having a place like Sacramento being the setting, there just should have been a little bit more. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. Like emotional aspect to it, but it was kind of cool to see, like, you know,
Gunther's
like
ice cream.
like local landmarks. and stuff
I
like
was
that.
in the Tower Theater watching Ladybird when they showed the Tower Theater.
I mean, so I thought that was cool too. Like, just because.
So you just didn't like the characters?
Just because I was because I didn't like the characters, and I didn't really. Yeah. Actually, that's really what it is. I didn't like the characters at all, and I think the story was it just needed a little bit more of
explosions or something.
Yeah, or maybe a child dying.
Yeah,
or something.
Baby being torn apart.
Yeah, a baby
dog
being
attacked to an infant.
Yeah, a dog attacking an infant. Something
Some racial
of that.
prejudice or somthing.
Yeah, something of that.
Curb stonking.
Yeah, something of that nature. So yeah, I might revisit the movie again though.
So you think it sucks? That sucks as a movie.
Two times in a row, hated it both times. You're not going to watch anything that we recommend. You'll watch this a third time to hate it again. Again, Tyler,
Because
why do you make your life harder than it needs to be?
Well, so this is the point that I was going to get at too, is because this movie perplexes me because I think it's a very beautifully shot film. Like, I think it looks really good, but I just don't like it, and I'm trying to understand. Like
you just said, you don't like the characters.
Of course I do. I don't, but there's just something else about it that I'm trying to unravel. I'm trying to figure out like why I don't like why I'm so like repulsed.
Because it features a strong and confident woman in the lead. We've already debunked it. It's there.
You know what? Maybe I just have to come to terms with my misogyny. I think I just have to.
I live a block away from that liquor store where the mural is at the Peacock.
Yeah.
That market's been closed for like the last month. It just says there's a paper written sign. There's a paper sign on the door. It says temporarily closed. And it's really annoying.
Yeah.
Tyler, the classmates are turning on you in the chat.
Why? What did I do?
First off, Angry Otter says, just throw a Wonka hat on Tyler and you couldn't tell them apart. You and Chalamet.
That's not the first person that said that I looked like Timothy Chalamet. And I was offended by that.
Kevin, one of the most attractive young men of our time. Kevin from Real Spoilers says there's a Bukowski musical called Bukowsical, and it's great.
Bukowsical?
Yeah.
Oh.
He also says that Lady Bird is the best movie of 2017, and boo, Tyler, bad take from Adam Murphy.
I mean, I can't please everyone. Right?
Joseph Bridges, ask Tyler what it feels like to always be wrong.
Heather's turning on you too now. She says, no. I have thoughts about Tyler's thoughts about strong women with opinions.
Okay.
It's because of this movie we're reviewing later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Tyler just needs to shave his head.
He loved it because the only female in the movie was abused.
Yeah.
Twice suburbia.
No, there was two different women that were abused.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, like everyone
Stand
has
by your convictions.
Everyone has a belly button, right?
Lady Bird sucks. Right. Greta Gerwig's hot. She doesn't know how to direct anything.
Except for this, my favorite movie of the year, Little Women.
I love Little Women. That was a great Greta Gerwig movie. I really want to pick her brain.
Yeah,
like that would be nice to have her on the show.
Is that what the kids are calling it now?
What? Pick what?
Oh yeah. Also, one thing before we move on, because we got to wrap this up.
Yeah,
I got a wedding to go to. Heather says you pussed out last week because you were saying nothing but good things about Kentucky Fried Movie while she was on the show, and then the second she hung up, you're like, "This movie, sorry Heather, this movie stinks." Fistful of yen, terrible. I want to turn the movie off. Also, you can only like this movie if you're old.
I think that's what I said.
No, Tyler.
No, I said that.
Oh, you said that.
It is a generational for that. If you grew up with it, you're gonna find it a lot more funny, especially if you understand the references.
Well,
why not say it to Heather's face though?
I did.
Say it to my face.
I did. I did.
Go back and re-listen.
All right.
I also found I actually forgot to mention just real quick.
Yeah.
I found the show. I started watching it. It's True Detective.
Oh yeah,
you guys heard of that?
I have.
Oh,
yeah. I heard it one time somewhere. I don't know where though.
I'm a big fan of True Detective.
A few episodes in, it seems like a show that would get bad right after the first season.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
And it'd go downhill immediately after the first season.
Oh, okay. We're not going to get into that conversation. Do not trigger me into getting.
I think you would like it, Tyler. I think you might like it.
Season 2?
No, season 1.
Oh, should check.
I think you might like it. You should check it out.
Yeah.
Me and Tyler actually did. I don't know if you saw this. We did a whole two episodes on it.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Broke down 4 episodes.
What do you
at a
mean
time.
you don't know?
I don't know if you did.
You know what's funny is we got more views on those videos and reviews than anything because the 2 or 3 people in the chat said, "I see True Detective." I click on the video.
Oh yeah.
And then they immediately turned it off when they realized it was just me and Tyler.
But yeah, no, I actually have been rewatching it though.
The first season or the second?
The first one.
Oh, again? Oh, because you didn't watch it for the thing.
Nice.
Yeah, this is like my 4th watch review of this
So
whole
good.
show.
So good. So good. Yeah, I mean, that's the only movie I watched this week. I almost checked out Alien Romulus, but I got busy.
Prediction: you will hate it.
I think Tyler's gonna like it.
Oh,
$5.
yeah. Oh my God!
Gotta be honest. Tyler.
Be honest.
Of course, I'll be honest. But
For the first time in my life.
Yeah. All right, you guys got anything else to say?
No, I don't think.
Does the chat have anything to say to disparage me? All right.
No, we're good. All right, so thank you to the cool ass yardies over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Chris, Michael, and Steven. And if you want to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass or just watch on the YouTube page. That helps too. And thank you to all of our Patreon and subscribers on YouTube and the Patreon. It means a lot. Until next time. Thank you for joining us this week as we gab about George Clooney and all kinds of good stuff. Follow us later on in the week if you're on the podcast stream, or in a few minutes if you're on the live show as we review Suburbia from 1983. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class. And please leave us a voicemail. We like to hear from the people out there. That voicemail number is going to be 209-730-6010.
And follow us on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class and on Twitter at Podcast MDFC.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later.
See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.